why there are ranks in the military? Do you have any idea why, when you come in, you start at a very low rank, and then over time and accomplishments, you promote to another rank, and then another rank, and then another rank? In the military, when I was in the Air Force, we had what we called the NCO, the non-commissioned officer. And of course, even as an NCO, there's a junior NCO, and then a senior NCO, and then there's the officers corps, the the commissioned men and women. But why is there rank? Why are there different levels of rank, not just one? Why is it that you don't just go from I'm part of everybody to I'm in charge? Why does that not happen? Because you can't lead everybody. You can't lead a large crowd effectively. That's what we want to talk about today on this episode of Leading Leaders. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders podcast. And I don't know if you've ever tried to manage a large crowd of people. Maybe you've heard the phrase herding cats. Not hurting cats, herding cats, like trying to get a bunch of them going in the same direction. Well, unless you're the Pied Piper, trying to get a large amount of anybody, any kind of creature, to go along with the same thing is really hard to do. It takes a long time of persuasion. Well, what it really takes is an instigator. You know, I also still run a DJ company, and on weekends when we do weddings and proms and graduations, we always look for the people who are the instigators for the dance floor. We want to know the people most likely to get on the dance floor who will also inspire others to do the same. People who will influence other people to join them on the dance floor. And when we find those people, usually by observation, when you put on the right song and they jump out of their seat and they grab three people's hands and drag them to the dance floor with them, I don't have to get on the microphone and beg people to do that. I just have to know what song that individual wants to dance to. And I might find, commonly, that there are three or four other people who respond to the same kind of song. And then there are three or four other people who respond to an entirely different genre of music. And once I've figured out who those people are and what genre of music they respond to, I can lead the entire crowd to the dance floor and revolve the dance floor. I can rotate who's on the dance floor on a regular basis, from slow dances to fast dances to booty shaking dances to jumping up and down dances. And I don't have to pick up the microphone and try to make people or cause people to get on the dance floor. I just have to play the music they enjoy dancing to. When it comes to leadership, trying to lead that entire crowd of 200 to 300 wedding guests would literally be near impossible. Now, from time to time, there are some events within the course of the night that everybody wants to be a part of, and so it's the event itself, like the toast or the cake cutting or the father-daughter dance. Most people will pay attention to that, or the first dance. Most people will pay attention to that. But you really got to sell the grand entrance to get everybody to pay attention to it. Why? Because there's no real instigator aside from the bridal party coming into the door. So the center of attention becomes the MC. The same is true in leadership. If you've got a new vision, a new idea, a new project that you want to sell to the entire team, you're going to have to take a moment and be the center of attention while you're explaining that, while you're selling that vision. The challenge is carrying out that vision takes implementation at more than one level. And that is why the military has ranks. See, the ranks are about saying this one person is in charge of the vision. This one person, or this group of people at the top, the high-ranking commanders, they make the major decisions. But the implementation of those decisions are delegated, meaning they come from the very top down through ranks of authority until they reach the people who actually have to do the work. If, for an example, the base commander drives across the runway and he says, "There's trash on the runway. I can't believe I see trash on the runway. That could destroy an aircraft. Somebody needs to pick that up." Here's what almost never happens. The base commander almost never stops his car, gets out of the car, and picks up the trash. Instead, he picks up his phone. And he calls someone on a maintenance crew. And someone in the maintenance crew says, "Yes, Commander, we'll get that done." And even the guy or the gal who picks up the phone and says, "Yes, we'll get that done," is not likely to go pick up the trash. They're likely instead to call someone else to say, "Hey, your team needs to make another look of the runway because the base commander found trash on the runway." And that person now is going to delegate to his team, All of you get in the trucks, get your uniforms on, get out there and scour that runway and make sure there's not another piece of trash for the base commander to find. Now, is it because the base commander is not capable or competent to pick up a piece of trash? No, that's not it at all. It's because in the grand scheme of things, that's not his job. His job is to lead the organization. There is someone, though, whose daily responsibility it is to make sure that there's no garbage blowing across the runway. Regardless of how it got there, regardless of whose fault it is, that person's daily task, what they get paid to do when they get out of bed in the morning, is to make sure that there's no trash on the runway or anywhere else on the base. Good leaders understand from the base commander's level to stop what he's doing and find the individual, if he could identify the individual who might be hanging out at the chicken joint at the time, and say, hey, I need you, go out to the runway and pick up that trash. Well, even if that's that person's job, that's not the base commander's job to tell them to do that. Now, would they do it? Well, of course they would, because he outranks them and they know who he is and they know the repercussions of not obeying a direct order. But see, when you're the CEO of a large corporation and you walk across the manufacturing floor, the sales floor, you got there out there face to face with the customer, sometimes it's really hard to get a change made if you're the customer asking the CEO. Now, you can ask a board member, you can ask someone who has the influence to pass that through the chain of command. But chances are the actual task is going to fall on someone who does that task every day. Hey, Elon Musk, I'm sure, doesn't put tires on e-trucks. He doesn't connect battery cables on Tesla cars. That's not the job of Elon Musk. But if someone were to say, hey, all these Teslas are catching fire, you're going to catch fire as a CEO if you don't get this fixed. Well, as the CEO, he's going to go back to the board. He's going to go back to his development team and go, I need you to figure out who is responsible for connecting those wires and make sure these cars don't keep bursting into flame. That's a really bad thing. Even at that extreme a case, it is extremely unlikely that Elon Musk is going to go to the floor where the scientists work in the lab, where the cars are manufactured, where the tires are put on the trucks and go, give me that wrench, I need to fix this problem. No, that's not how it works. If you're a leader and you're trying to lead an organization of any size, and you feel like you have the wherewithal or the passion or the desire to get your fingers involved in everything that must be done, you have a control freak problem. Oh, you should understand what's going on. And it's perfectly reasonable, in fact, highly encouraged, to have regular conversations with people who get the work done every day. But that doesn't mean you should supplant their work, or that you should try to take their job, or that you should micromanage all the way down to that level. That's what delegation is for. Effectively, a good leader can lead 6 to 10 people. Effectively. Now, if you're leading those 6 to 10 people with good character and good morals and good ethics, you're demonstrating to them the way that you want to see the business run. You're explaining to them the vision of the organization. Then chances are those 6 to 10 people will go to the 6 to 10 people that they lead and influence them with the same information that you've given them. If you are passing on your vision on a regular basis, and in that vision you have a new idea, a new innovation, a new implementation, chances are it's not going to be all 10 of the people that you lead who have to take action to make that happen. But the 1 or 2 that have to take action to implement this new innovation, those people you're going to have to spend a little more time with, because you've got to get them to catch that vision so that they can take it to the people they influence, and they can take it to the people they influence. And that's how good leadership is supposed to work. If you're the guy or gal at the top of the totem pole, if you're the one in charge of everything and you're micromanaging the daily activities of the people on your team, you're not a leader, you're a tyrant. You're not a leader, you're a tyrant. And you need to fix that. It's a choice in your own behavioral system. You've got to decide that you trust the people that you've elevated to management levels. You've got to decide to trust them with the work that needs to be done. You need to believe that you've hired people who are better experts at the tasks they're assigned to than you are. That's why you hired them. They don't have to know everything that you know, but they better know what you've hired them for better than you do. If you are leading in a way that you're not delegating, take a step back. Take a breath. Spend some time with a leadership coach And ask yourself the question, what are the things that I'm trying to do myself because I'm a control freak that I really should be delegating and then overseeing the outcome rather than overseeing the daily tasks? I think you'll find it's a whole lot easier to lead by delegation when you deeply influence the people in your immediate circle and allow them to do the same all the way through the organization. You'll find that your vision, your inspirations, your innovations, and your new ideas, they will ripple through the entire organization like ripples on a pond if you're influencing your team properly. You cannot lead the entire group. It's just not practical. It's not possible. And it can't be done well by anybody. But you can very well lead those in your inner circle and let them do the same all the way through. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.